Hi guys, this is Wireheadking, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of the Dojo tutorial series in Blender 2.6. In this part we're going to be just carrying on with modeling everything in the scene. So we're going to start off by getting these smaller pillars in the corners here, because I said I'd do that last part but I forgot to. And then we're going to move on with finishing off these shrines by getting in these paper, or not paper, these scroll things, I don't really know what to call them. And we're also going to be working with this cupboard in the background and these paintings. But once again, we're not going to be doing any materials in this part, we're just going to be making or modeling everything. So let's start off with these pillars in the corner. So there are two ways you could do this. You could either select the room, then move your cursor over and add in a cylinder, and this works perfectly, so I'm going to use this method. You could add them in as a separate object and then just merge them with this object, but it's quicker to do it this way. So over here with the vertices, we're going to set this down to something really small, like 8. I might have even gone for 5 in the end, I don't remember, but I'm going to go with 8 now. Cap fill type, we're going to set this to nothing, and then all we have to do is in top view, just move these over to the corners, and if we press Alt S, we'll scale them down on the normals, and if you hold Shift, it goes in the smaller increments, so you have more control over it all. And then let's just move these right into the corners here, and then scale them up, like so. And oh, wrong corner. Need to move it back to this corner up here. So something like that. And now I'm going to do it, I'm going to make another one. In fact, first of all, let's just give this a material. In fact, let's just assign the pillar 2 material onto it. Or maybe even pillar 1. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so now I'm just going to duplicate this again. Duplicate this for the first time. And just move it up here. And just scale it down and move it accordingly, and then there we go. So now we can smooth these out. So the way I'm going to do this is, in fact, let's just smooth out the whole object by coming up here and pressing smooth, and you'll see that everything's now looking kind of weird. But if we add in the edge split modifier right there, it'll only make objects like the pillar smooth, but it's not right now because there's not enough vertices to make it smooth. So just increase this split angle until they look smooth, and then they should be the only things looking smooth, because every other angle in the scene is 90 degrees. Alright, so now that we've got those in, make sure they're mirroring, which they should be doing if you use that method. Or if you added them as a separate object, remember to select the cylinders and then room and press Ctrl J, and then they should be mirrored. Okay, so with that done, let's now work on the rest of the shrine. So the way I made these is really simple. It's just, in fact, let's go to a separate layer just so I can model it separately, and then press Shift S, cursor to center if it isn't already at the center, then add in a cylinder like so. Leave it the same settings it was original for the pillars we did a second ago, so that's 8 vertices and no fill. Although you could add in a fill if you want to, doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, now that we've got this, we're just going to rotate it by 90 degrees and scale it up by, I don't know, in fact we could actually probably look at the dimensions by pressing N, and over here it's along the x-axis, that's 10 meters, that's a bit too much. I think we could probably go for, I don't know, 0.5, that's 50 centimeters. In fact, if we just get a ruler, got one here, that's 30 centimeters, a bit more. Okay, so 50 centimeters is actually not too small. And now we just need to make it less fat, so I can press Tab, and then press Alt S, and then we can just make it thinner, like so. Probably make it a bit thinner. Then give that smooth shading, and then in edit mode again, Oh, if you've got this where when you rotate it around, it's not really focused on it. Just press the full stop button on the number pad, and then it fixes it. So yeah, now what we can do is just duplicate this down by however much. I'm thinking maybe a meter, so the Z should be that's a bit more. Okay, so that's around about a meter, so that's fine. And now we're just going to add a plane in the middle, so just add in a plane, rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees, and then move that in, move that in, move this down, just make it so that it fits the scroll. And I've made it just a tiny bit thinner than the cylinders. It doesn't look like it's being lined up correctly though, so if we just test this by adding in a loop cut on the cylinders and into the plane, which is a bit difficult. If I just right click, yeah, you can see the cylinders are a little bit to the side. Assuming it's the same with this cylinder as well. Yeah. Okay, so what we can do is, in fact, there's yeah. Let's okay. I don't know. Oh, hang on. Yeah. I had a brain fart. All you have to do is come down here to increments and just bring these into. Hang on. This is a bit of a problem. Right. Zoom in so that we've got these smaller squares visible, and then just snap it over to here. Do the same with this one. Just bring it back so that it's snapped into one of these bigger square lines, and then all you have to do is press Ctrl L and then just scale it out like that, and then it's perfectly central. Although now it seems like it might be the plane if it doesn't line up. Okay, so it's not the cylinders messing up, it's actually the plane. Oh, of course, because we just moved all the vertices manually, which is a bad idea. So leave this loop cut in the middle, and then just delete this half, and then we can add in a loop cut with the cylinders, and just right click for now when we add in the loop cut, come down here to vertex snap, and then press GX, and then just hold control over the vertice or vertex on this plane, and do the same with this loop cut down here, like so, and then just delete these halves of the cylinders and add in a mirror modifier. Now you might be a bit reluctant to do that because now we've got this big loop in the middle, but that's not really a problem, because if we now apply the mirror modifier, make sure clipping was on before you do that though, which it is. Okay, cool. And just move that out if you need to, and then move it back in again, like so, then apply it. What you can then do is just select these loop cuts, then press W, and then just trying to figure out which one it was. 1 second. Okay, so after searching for the hotkey or the tool that I was needing to use, I couldn't find it. So what we're going to have to do is just delete this loop in the middle, and then select these two loops at the end, and then press Ctrl E, and then bridge to edge loops, and that basically replaces the thing in the middle, just gets rid of that edge loop. The key I was trying to find sort of just blends that loop into in between these two, so it sort of just gets rid of it. But I couldn't find that, so I can't tell you how to do that. But if you know how to do that, then just do it. Okay, so with this loop down the middle, I'm just going to delete that, and then may as well just select these two and press F, because it's only going to be a regular 4 vertice shape. And then with these the cylinder in the middle again, just select delete basically do the same thing we did up here. Delete the loop in the middle, select the two loops at the end, press Ctrl E, and then bridge to edge loops, and then there we go. Now you might need to just re-smooth this, or if I don't even know if we smoothed it at the beginning, but yeah, add in a smooth modifier, and it doesn't really seem to do anything to the actual plane, but you could just leave it like that, but I don't want to, so I'm going to add in another edge split modifier and just increase the split angle until the cylinders get nice and smooth. So yeah, in fact actually that's going to make the plane smooth anyway. Okay, just go into edit mode, select the plane, and where is it? In the properties you can change it from smooth to flat. There it is. And it doesn't make any difference in the viewport, though when you render it, it might make a difference. I don't actually know, because it's just a flat plane. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's just give these separate materials, like placeholders, again. So let's call this scroll. In fact, let's call this scroll 1, and assign that. And the reason why we're going to do that is, as you can see, we've got a few scrolls, and they've got different symbols on them. And I'm going to make different materials for each. They're basically the same material, but they're going to have different textures on. So for now, all of them are going to have scroll 1 until we individually applying the different textures when we just make them all individual materials. So that's scroll 1, and then if you press Ctrl I, add in a new one here. I'm actually just going to use the frame material that we used for the picture frame. So now that we've got that, we can come over to layer, let's just move over to layer 1 now, and now over here. This is actually looking a pretty good size, because that's what we set it up to be earlier. Now let's just move this to the side, and I think, yeah, my scrolls seem to be a bit bigger originally, so we can do that. Or we can not, depends what you want to do, but I'm going to. Okay, so let's just move that up. And let's scale the whole thing up so that it's a bit thicker. And then pull all of this down. So it's a pretty big scroll here. Maybe move it down. Actually, no, it can stay up there. And then just duplicate this over to there. Actually, should we make a separate object? In fact, okay, yeah, instead of duplicating it over, let's just select all of this, move it over to this side, and then we can use a mirror modifier later. So now let's just duplicate this over, but then press P and then selection so that it becomes its own separate object. In fact, no. Before we even do that, select the shrine and get the string and the nail, and then duplicate that over here, and we're just going to now press P and selection with that, then get this, and then right click on the scroll, and then press P. Oh, where's it gone? Sorry, not P. Press Ctrl J, so then it's joined up with the scroll, and let's just realign the origin of the scroll. It's over here, so go down to Object, Transform, Origin to Geometry, and then just drag all of this down, and then line it up. Like so. And now we can duplicate all of this and bring it down and line it up with the shrine. And right now the string is going through the picture frame and everything, but that's not, oh, it's also going through the floor. So let's maybe make this a bit smaller. In fact, let's actually just have a small scroll here just for like one of these symbols on it. Make it a bit different from the reference image that we've got, my previous render. And with the picture frame, I'm just going to move that up like that. And might even just pull this string thing down there. And yeah, there we go. So now I'm going to select this scroll, press P in selection with that, and then get this scroll and just join it up with the rest of the room. So now it's being mirrored, and there we go. So with the scroll material, which is there, I'm just going to make it a tiny bit darker so that we can see where it all is. And there we go, so that's the scrolls done. Now the pictures in the background, they're really simple to make. Again, I'm going to go to a different layer because it's getting a bit cluttered in here. So I'm going to go to a different layer. And I just added in a cube to make this. And let's set the dimensions, although for some reason the default dimensions seem a little bit wrong. Oh, it's because the cursor's in the wrong place. So let's center the cursor. Even though in the end it won't make much of a difference, it's just easier to look at. What we're going to do is get the dimensions over here. So I'm going to make it, yeah, 2 meters is fine. And on the z-axis, actually let's make the x-axis 3 meters. And then 3 by 2. And then we can, in edit mode, just shrink it down on the y-axis, make it thinner. And then we can get this bit here, and we can press I, and we can inset it. And that was something that someone said in a comment in my previous video, but sort of commenting on how I was. One sec, there we go. On how I was bringing these sort of panels out. That's a bad thing to call them, but these little ledges here, how I was making those, as you can see, are not quite equal height. In fact, they're pretty close. But yeah, he was just saying I could use an inset to keep it like that, and even though insetting isn't essential for this, you could just extrude it in. It's just a nice tip. So if you haven't done that bit yet, if you haven't, I'm assuming you have, but if you're wanting to maybe redo it, then you press I and inset it. Anyway, I've been talking too much about that tool. Let's just extrude this in now, and then this plane here is going to be the picture. So let's just add in a new material, call this picture, or painting even, and assign that. Oh, it's already been assigned, but then press Ctrl I to select all the other faces, and let's just give this one of the wood textures. In fact, I think I should use a different wood texture for this. Okay, so let's give it a new material, call this painting frame, and assign that. Make the viewport color a little bit darker. Okay, and now we just need to get that string and nail again, which is being kept over here in all sorts of objects. Let's just take it from this. So select in vertex, select, just grab these bits up here, press Ctrl L, you can get everything connected to it. Just duplicate it up, press P, selection, then just grab it, move it over to layer 2, and now we can go to object, transform origin to geometry, then press Alt G, which just put it straight into the center, and scale it up. Sorry, not scale up, move it up, then you can scale it up as well. And that's looking pretty good right there. In the original image you can see that the string is coming way up here, but there's actually no need for that. I don't know why I did it like that. But yeah, just a nice bit there. That's looking fine. So there we go. Let's actually just move it back. And on that subject, we can actually move the whole thing back. So let's first of all bring the painting bit here, the plane sort of shape. Just bring that forward, and then bring all of this stuff back. And that way it keeps it a lot less chunky, and I think it looks a bit better that way. So it's more proportionally good. Okay, so we can now move that back into layer 1, and let's actually call this painting 1, because like the scrolls, we're going to have 2 paintings here. So yeah, we can now move this back along the y-axis. Probably best we go to wireframe and just line it up with this back wall here. Maybe have it going slightly through it. And now, okay, not entirely through it, just clearly been lining up with the wrong edge. Here we go, and that's way too big. Oh, actually, it's big. Oh, hang on, I forgot to merge the string with it, so undo all that stuff. Or just press Alt G, then merge the string with it, and then move it back. So I've got to do this again, and then line up with the correct edge, then drag it up, move it along, and I'm going to scale it down. Oh, actually scale it up after that. If you leave it at the same size it was, in fact no, scale it down a little bit. Okay, and I don't think string's getting any display here, so oh no, it apparently is, but I can't see it. No, it's not. So bring it forwards even more, like that, and now there we go. It's looking good. So we can duplicate that across, or we could use a mirror modifier even. So let's do that. Let's just Control J the painting to the room, and let's get that string color a little bit darker. Where's it gone? There. That way I can see it. Okay, and alright, so now finally we're going to be making this weapon rack here, and in the next part we're going to be actually making the weapons to go onto the rack, and after that we'll be getting into the materials. Okay, so this weapon rack is really simple to make. Again, I'm going to go to layer 2, and I just added in a cube to make it and just scaled it up. And probably best to add an edge loop on this for later on. So just probably best to put it at the back so that we won't be able to see any seams. So let's just mark seam there. And now we can scale it down. Well, let's first of all press Alt S on. Oh no, of course. Okay, so just scale it down, and then scale it up on the Z-axis, like so. It's going to be proportionally not correct, also proportionally incorrect even, for now, but we can change that later. In fact, actually, no, that could work. So I think actually we need to bring it out on the y-axis a bit back, like so, and now we can just press Ctrl L. In fact, yeah, let's just delete the top and bottom faces, because we're going to be using an array modifier, and these faces are just going to get in the way. So now we can select all of this, duplicate it, bring it, what the hell have I done? Duplicate it instead of whatever it was I did, and then press R, Y, and 90 to move, rotate it on y-axis by 90 degrees, move it in, move it down, scale it in on the y-axis a little bit, and then we can just scale it along to about there. That's about 2 meters. And actually, these weapons are these are called naginatas, which are basically spears with swords at the end. I think I made these maybe 2 or 3 meters in the end, so you want the shelf to be roughly the same size. And remember, one of these bigger grid squares are the equivalent of 1 meter. So let's make this 3 meters just to be safe. And let's turn on increment snap, so that when we hold Control, it will just snap to one of these increments. Might have to zoom in a little bit. Okay, just move to there. There. Okay. So yeah, now that we've done that, we can get on with the modifiers. So let's add in an array modifier here, and you can see that it's immediately just cloned this over here, and we can increase the count and make more. And we're going to have to edit it after we've done with the array modifier, because of course, you know, we've got it's not going to be perfect, but for now this is saving us a lot of time with the whole shape and everything. And we're going to need to bring this bit down, so let's go back into vertex snap, and then press G, Z, and then hold Control and select this vertex here, or hold Control and move your mouse over the bottom vertex there, and then that way they're all sitting at the bottom. Good. And now we can add in another array modifier to go up. So let's set this to 0 on the x-axis in the array modifier. So 0, and then it sets to 1. Oh no, set the Z axis to 1. And now we can have it going up. So I think in the end I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's add in one more going along. And that's 5. And then in the top I had 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And that's looking good. So now we can just apply these. And we're just going to select the bottom vertices on these stands. Oh, hang on. I don't know if I thought this through. Wait, yeah, I did. We just have to, yeah, just go along selecting these vertices here. And then here. Oh, hang on, am I selecting the right, no. So, there are some, yeah. Maybe I didn't think this through properly. Oh, hang on, we can just select these edge loops, can't we? Yeah, okay, so just, okay, deselect everything, ignore the past minute or so. Just go around selecting the edge loops at the bottom, and that's going to be much quicker. And there's going to be one of you, or more of you, that thought of that already and are now laughing at me. So, there we go. Alright, and just drag these down a little bit, like so, and that sort of creates a nice sort of, these bits at the bottom. And also at the end, we're going to need to duplicate one of, hang on, yeah, okay, another thing we might need to do is remove doubles, although it might not work. Oh yeah, it did work. Remove doubles as well, that's fine. And now we can select one of these. Okay, and just duplicate this over and snap it to one of those. I should have really snapped this one as well, and that way we could keep everything mathematically correct. But even now, actually, it's not looking too bad. And to get rid of this blank space at the end, because in the end I actually just kept that. Oh no, I think we got in the way of the painting, so that's fine, because painting isn't as drooped. That's a horrible word. Okay, you know what I mean. It's not as low. So, okay, let's now just get all of these beams, I guess you could call them, and press Ctrl L after selecting a vertex on each one, and then duplicate this up. And now we can snap this to top here. Okay, and we can also begin filling in these faces. Although now we're going to get some overlay. Okay, let's grab all these edge loops on the beams, as I call them. In fact, no, let's just have these down just a tiny bit, or even bring these up. Actually no, let's... Sorry, whenever I've been recording a video for a while, my brain just goes dead, and I just can't think of anything, so sorry if I'm a bit slow right now. Okay, well, it's barely going to be noticeable. In fact, that might have been why I didn't bother with these in the end. And yeah, it's making a smaller space. Okay, let's just ignore those and just hope no one notices. But if you find a way to put them on without making it look disgusting, then... Oh, actually. No, we're fine. Just get one of these. Just duplicate it up, move it up, and then snap it to one of these while moving it down, and then just scale it up on the x-axis. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner, but I didn't. And does want to snap, there we go. And then snap it. There we go. And now all we have to do is just make it a little bit wider. I think we can snap it onto one of these now. Yeah, there we go. And I'm tempted to remove doubles, but I'm not sure. Let's just make a face at the end of this. I don't think it... No, it's not important to remove the doubles, actually, in this context. But yeah, okay. So, let's move this back to the first layer. And as you can see, it's way too big, so let's scale it down. Okay, so just drag it back to this back wall here, and now move it in so it's nice and central. Okay, so that's looking nice. In fact, actually, to make it even more central, we can center the origin. So go to Object, Transform Origin to Geometry, then press Alt G, then just move it back, and then move it up. Okay. And move it back some more. Alright, and now as you can see, the painting is getting in the way, but we can easily fix that by selecting it in edit mode and just moving it up. Okay, and that's looking lovely. So there we go. I might even just one last edit, just make this a bit more chunky, so scaling it up on the y-axis and then moving it out again like so, and that way it adds more space for the weapons that are going to go there. Okay, so yeah, that finishes this part. 30 minutes. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe for the next part, or if this series is finished, then look at my channel and subscribe anyway. But yeah, I'm Wireheadking, and goodbye.